still cry. Seriously, when is this going to stop? I'm back there, I'm thinking Sally doesn't want me to come out here and cry. Let me tell you, is that prestigious or what? I mean, seriously. I'm going to set my alarm because, you know, I have a really hard time focusing. It's hard for me to stay focused on what it is that I'm going to talk to you about. But let me tell you why I'm so emotional about it. I said to my husband, let's move from California and let's go to a part of the country where branding can be ours. I wasn't sure what that was going to be. But the trickle down from New York and California happens in the southeast region of the United States about 10 to 15 years. We're about 10 to 15 years behind the time. So I knew I wanted to come up with a concept, but I wasn't sure what that was going to be. And when I arrived, there were no cupcakes. So I married the idea of what I did in Los Angeles. And when you live in Los Angeles and you work for celebrities, you never talk about who you work for. Like your friends all know who you work for, and that's it. But you don't put it on Facebook. There was no Facebook, actually. You don't put it on your website. There was no website. You don't put it on your business card. You don't. There's another term for it, and I won't use the potty language, but it's called star. You can fill it in. So we're not going to do that. But when I moved to Florida, it was like, oh, wow. Let's take what you did and create a brand, and let's use you as the brand. And let's put you on the back of the cupcake truck and do all these things. Now, I talk about Miss Holly in the third person because I am her, but I'm also Hollis Wilder, and I am building a brand. And there's a fine line between self-promotion and, you know, what this is about, why I'm so emotional about it, is that these opportunities are available to everyone. If you work hard and you tell the truth about who you are as a human being, and you consistently work hard and are committed to whatever it is that you're driving, people will buy it. They'll fall in love with it. They'll want to be a part of the happening that you're creating. I was able to do that when I moved to Florida because there were not any other cupcake stores. So it was surprising because I wasn't sure what it was that I was going to create. I have the savory background. I'm self-taught, by the way. I don't have like PhDs and all these things that all these other lovely speakers have with all of these letters after their name and all of that. I went to 6 years of college. I didn't graduate. I taught myself how to cook. I traveled all over the world and made and ate a lot of food. So the other reason I'm so emotional about it is because I'm incredibly grateful. Every time I get an opportunity to talk about what it is that I've done and how it's been recognized, that's achievement, and that's part of prestige. And I have definitely achieved, but I'm not done. So when the Food Network called me and I pinched myself and I said, oh my gosh, this is crazy, that was an opportunity for me to look at this as not going and creating a cupcake with some icing on it, and certainly not making the cupcakes that you see on my menu. This was going to be about you, the viewer across the nation that loves the Food Network and tunes in, falling in love with what you see. And hopefully someone, somewhere, would say, wow, she's interesting enough that we want to create a show about her. So I have like a fabulous host of incredible guys that I consult with in Los Angeles. They've all been very successful producers of television shows, and they said, you know, you need to come up with a couple different catchphrases that you use when you're on camera, and you need to make sure that you say those things. You need to also make sure that when you're on camera, and I was very comfortable being there because I am not a fraud. I am who I am, and I do what I do, and no one else can do what I do. I don't need to pay anyone else to do what I do. I'm the face of my company. I wield this thing out, and I do everything that's hammer and nails. I don't hire anyone to do anything for me that I can do by myself, and I never let anything important to me be put in the hands of somebody. They get it maybe one time, and they mess up, they never get it again. I find someone else to do it. There are many things that I'm not capable of doing. I know what my limitations are. I think the most important thing is that I know the truth about myself, and I tell the truth about myself. I'm not a fraud. I'm not going on television and saying, oh, isn't she a cute little lady, you know, ladies who lunch or whatever she is, and then there she is, and she's making cupcakes, and now she's trying to make her name for herself. This is a brand that's been building, and this is hard work that I've been working on for my whole entire life as a working person. But what I did that's different, and what separates me from the girls separate from the women, or the men separated from the boys, is that not everybody can be Sally, not everybody can be Coco Chanel, not everybody can be Martha Stewart, or Betty Crocker, or Mrs. Fields. I want to be in that category. I have an opportunity to be in that category. And so when they called, I knew that if I could go there and make it about letting you all see a brand instead of just some girl that comes on and maybe wins, and I knew I had to win, that I could take it to the next level. I didn't know how that was going to happen. I didn't have a publicist who was calling New York and different people and pitching myself to them. I just trusted that because I take risks in my life, that those things would all fall into place. Because I have a foundation that is inside. Oh, thank you very much. A little peekaboo there. Do we have any polls? Your poll. Oh my gosh, I have to just tell you really quick, and this might be completely inappropriate, but when I opened up my store in St. John's, the first night we opened, I raised over $8,000 for Girls on the Run. So excited, right? But then at night, my sign lit up, and guess what it said? Sweet by Ho. Could you die? Sweet by Ho. Yeah, okay. So, anyway, and people were Facebook, oh, ho, your cupcakes are good. Welcome to Jacksonville. I mean, there's no other way to like get into a community and immerse yourself into it and then that way. I mean, I'm the perfect person for that to happen to because I'm such a ham. I'm so self-deprecating. I'll be the first person to laugh at myself. I'm a human being and I'm having an experience. And my experience is that I'm going to drive this brand as far as I can go. So then, when I won, and I made that salmon cupcake, Abrams, which is the #1 publisher, they're a worldwide publisher. Everybody knows who they are. They called me. See, I didn't need to hire someone to do this work for me because I know that because this is happening in my life, it's just a gift and I'm just supposed to show up and do the next indicated thing. But I have the ability to do that. I have the ability to make it happen. I have the ability to be able to have 2 small children, a company in Orlando, another one here, hopefully another one within a year in Atlanta. More things. Just keep going. Just keep going. Hopefully all this stuff will happen before I'm 50 because we're going to have to, get a little facelift because we're not going to look like the back of the truck forever. So, see, no one else can be me. I mean, am I crazy or what? So Abrams called and said, we want you to write a cookbook. And we want it to be about savory mini cupcakes. And I said, well, that's a good thing because there are about 3,000 cupcake books on the market right now, and nobody's going to buy my cupcake book. So I started to get busy trying to come up with some ideas for them on savory, and it was really difficult for them to wrap their tongues around it. And so then this is what happened. Because I was a chef in Los Angeles for as many years as I was, and this is why I'm the only person that can do this. And I'm telling you right now, I'm standing in front of you, and when this book comes out in the spring of 2013, I still have half the recipes to test. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I'm going to have to Xerox myself. But when this book comes out, a little bulb went out on my head, and I said, I'm going to revolutionize the way you look at that cupcake pan. And people always say, what's going to happen with the cupcake? How long does it have to go? How does it replace wedding cakes? And all these questions. And I say, well, let me show you how, and I'm going to show you how. And you saw that video with all the different ways in which I celebrate the beautiful foods that I make. I dress like my cupcakes, right? I celebrate the food. It's about celebration. It's about taking something that what I started out when we were in a downturning economy, and on the front page of the Orlando Sentinel, my business, I opened it right as everything started to crash, but it was already in building zone, so we're going for it. The newspaper said, global economic crisis, crashing problems everywhere. And then the other side was a picture of me with a hairnet. And it said, but Cupcake Company does well. It's booming. So why is it going to continue to boom? Because what I'm going to do, I'm standing here right now to tell you that Abrams will then, when the book comes out, what they do is, and that's why why I'm so grateful that they came to me, is that they will then put me on the Today Show. Hopefully the Today Show will think I'm interesting enough. Maybe by then I'll be able to speak concisely. Maybe I'll have a little conversation with Sally and she'll say, these are the points you need to hit. I don't have a Sally in my life. I'm the Sally in my life, right? So what I ask people and why I think that this is so interesting and so exciting is that what is the cupcake in your life? What is it that makes you feel like that I feel right now? This is genuine. I feel this way. We only have a short period of time to figure out what it is that we're going to do. Whether it's for yourself and you're creating your own brand, if you can't be the face of the company because you don't think that you can sell what you look like, then think about it in another way. Don't give up. But you have to tell the truth about whether or not you think that it's going to be able to do what it needs to do. I tell the truth. I'm not a fraud. I make all this stuff happen. I really am the person that drives this whole brand. And so the cupcake is going to move forward because what I'm going to do with this cupcake pan is not about having cake inside of it. It's about all of those, it's about what to do with the pan. Everybody in the nation and parts of the world now have a cupcake pan because of this phenomena, a cupcake craze, right? What are we going to do with that pan going forward? What I said and what the book is about is creating savory meals in the cupcake pan. So think about all of those meals that are in that wooden box that's in your pantry that's passed down from generation to generation, all handwritten notes from Grammy Hazel and Aunt Violet and Eunice, all those cards, right? And they've got stuffed peppers, and they have chicken divan, and they've got lasagna, and different kinds of all casserole and lasagna. Oh, I'm not even close to done. I will be done. You just kick me right off. You know, get that 5 minutes. Thank you. Just get the cane. But so this is when I started to get really titillated, and the publisher was freaked out as well because what's going to be in the pan are those meals that are traditionally created in those casserole dishes that are way too big in terms of portion size. And so when you sit down to a family buffet and you scoop it out, you scoop again, and then you maybe scoop another bit. So now you've overindulged. But if you eat it in the classic cupcake pan, our stomachs are only about this big, so you're going to have choice. So let's say, for instance, you're having an Italian feast and you want to do something with an antipasta. I have an antipasta. Then you want to do something with the pasta, hot pasta. You want to do something with maybe a little seafood or chicken or beef. In one setting, just like when you go to my store and you get my cupcakes, you get to have several different flavors all in one meal. And then there will be little sauces and little side dishes and little salads. I'm telling you, this is how it's going to happen. Those items will now be savory by Holly, and you'll be able to buy them in your freezer section across the nation, in every refrigerator, freezer across the nation, and in every grocery store. That's what I'm saying out loud. And why am I saying it out loud? Not for you to come back to me in a year and a half and say, you're a fool. I don't care what you think about me. I believe in me. I'm going to make this happen. I don't care what you think. I'm saying it out loud because you know what? When I say it out loud, I have let go of the fact that I'm afraid that I'm going to make a fool of myself. I cried coming out on the stage. I don't care what you think. I cried on national television. I could care less what you think. I've got a short period of time to make this happen. Mine is on the line. This is my cupcake. It's on the line. I'm the one that has to make it happen. So you know what? I made these cupcakes for Sally. This is Prestige. Oh, it's stuck down. Oh, good. They taped it down. I don't know what else I'm supposed to say, but I am so excited. You know what else? Can I just say one more thing that was so exciting about it is that this is you're watching something that's developmental. This is not a final destination. I have not arrived. And even when I do arrive, I'm still going to push out my own displays, make my own displays, and clean up my own messes. So I'm so grateful.